Whether it's good or bad, it's inevitable. We're respectable now. Now, to do the first part of our show, I would like to welcome up here Mr. Salman Rushdie, Mr. Leonard Cohen, and Ms. Shawn Colvin. And to kick things off, a few words honoring Leonard. Stand right here, man. One of the greatest novelists we have and one of the most courageous artists we have, Mr. Salman Rushdie.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks. Well, this is a gig I wouldn't have missed for the world, I have to say. We were all having our picture taken backstage, and I thought, this is the best photograph I've ever been in. You know, and I've been in one or two. I really have to say, I'm really grateful to Penn New England for the initiative of doing this, and to everybody who made it happen. Bill wouldn't have happened without Bill Flanagan, wouldn't have happened without Karen Wolf. And I mean, the jury that Bill's put together, I mean, forget who wins the award, you know. I mean, look at the jury, it's amazing. Certainly the best jury I've ever been on. And several of them are here, which is great, but, you know, Smokey Robinson, Roseanne Cash, Elvis Costello, Paul Muldoon, Paul Simon, and me. It felt extraordinary to be part of that decision-making body. And I think extra extraordinary to be giving these awards to these two huge artists. I've wanted for a long time Penn to understand that literature moves with the times. Literature doesn't remain poets, essayists, and novelists. New forms grow, new art is made in new ways, and some of the greatest art, certainly in my lifetime, has been made in the form of the song lyric. And it's way, way overdue that we recognize that this is a contribution to literature at least as important as that of poets, playwrights, essayists, and novelists. And two of the great exponents of that are honorees today, and several of the other great exponents of that are on the jury. So, you know, about time and hooray. I'm really glad the prize exists, and long may it flourish. Thanks. When I was telling my friends that I was going to come and have the privilege of giving an award to Leonard Cohen, they began to insist that I did certain things. All of these friends were women. One of them said that she'd met Leonard and I should kiss him for her. And I said, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that. She said, no, really. Kiss him from me. I said, okay, haven't done that yet, Leonard. Another of my friends said, you know, I live on Clinton Street, and I'd really like him to come and make music for me all through the evening, and I'll even wear a blue raincoat. So it's a sign of how much regard and how deeply these songs have entered people's lives. Yesterday, just as an experiment, I put on my Twitter feed, I asked people what was their favorite Leonard Cohen line, and hundreds of people replied with an enormous diversity of lines from this extraordinary songbook, some of which I will quote in a minute, but and several of them were amongst my favorites, but it was just both the breadth of the response, how much different work was being responded to, how passionately it was being responded to, how much it meant to how many people. It was really very, very telling. I've been listening to Leonard Cohen's music ever since I was an undergraduate at Cambridge, the other Cambridge, the old one. And it's really a thrilling opportunity to have a chance to tell him how much that music has meant to me for over 4 decades. I said to him before we came on that when we were kids, he taught us something about how it might be to be grown up. how to have relationships that were in the real world, that were not kid stuff, but that had the pain and the difficulty and the complexity and the exaltation of real relationships in the real world of adult life. Listening to his lyrics again before this evening, I was struck by something I'd, in a way, forgotten, perhaps, of how much religious imagery is to be found in them. Jesus crops up in Suzanne, and there are the Sisters of Mercy, and he was just some Joseph looking for a manger. And of course, there is the great Hallelujah, and I mean, there's always been, I think, something anthemic, something hymn-like about Leonard Cohen's greatest songs, though when you start listening closely, you hear his wit and his jaundiced comedy and sometimes his disillusion undermining those hymnal qualities. Not many hymns would rhyme Hallelujah with What's It to Ya? Not to mention all the other rhymes in that, which are equally non-sacred. I think it's true that all literature, all great literature begins at the level of the line. If you can't write a good line, you can't write a good paragraph, you can't write a good page, you can't write a good book. And at the level of the line, for all these years, Cohen's work has been amazing us again and again. Her hair upon the pillow like a sleepy golden storm. I'd love her like a dog in heat, like a bird on the wire, like a drunk in a midnight choir. I have tried in my way to be free. This is work of great beauty and depth. And to put it simply, if I could write like that, I would. I think of poets in the 20th century who've had a real relationship with meter and rhyme and who have loved the playfulness of those things. And I think of W.H. Auden and James Fenton, and I think the kind of playfulness of those rhymes in Hallelujah, for example, is something that an Auden or a Fenton would respond to very, very immediately, because it's the kind of language play that you find in their poetry. But there is only one man who writes like this, exploring melancholy and exaltation, desire and loss, as nobody else can. And so it's with great respect and admiration that I'm able to present this award. But before I do it, somebody better sing soon. So I'm going to ask Shawn Colvin, who's going to sing a song by Leonard Cohen.
Thank you. Of course, it's my great honor to be here, and I'm very nervous, and I told a friend of mine that I would be very nervous, and she said, well, you know what Leonard Cohen said to someone, don't you? I said, no, I don't. She said, well, I heard that this is what he said to someone when they were nervous. Forgive me if it's not true. Sing it like you would for the chicks. Did you say that? He likes it anyway when they're singing. Anyway, that didn't quite work for me, but I'm going to figure something out here. I'll gather up the brokenness, breathe into me now. The fragrance of those promises you never dared to vow. The splinters that you carried, the cross you left behind. Come healing of the body, come healing of the mind. And let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come healing of healing of the living. Behold the gates of mercy in solitary grace, and solitude of longing, where love has been confined. Come healing of the body, come healing of the mind. Oh, see the darkness yielding what tore the light apart. Come healing of the reason, come healing of the heart. The troubled dust concealing an undividing love. The heart beneath is teaching to the broken heart above. So let the heavens falter and let the earth proclaim, come healing of the altar, come healing of the name. The longing of the branches to lift the little bud, the longing of the arteries to purify the blood. So let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn, come healing of the spirit, come healing of the limb. Oh, let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn, come healing of the spirit, come healing of the limb.
Now it's my great pleasure to present 2012 PEN Award for Song Lyrics of Literary Excellence, Mr. Leonard Cohen.
Thanks so much, friends. Thank you for your gracious hospitality. Thank you, Penn and the jury. I understand now on what basis these awards were given, because the entire jury could be candidates for this award, but I understand they're awarding them on the basis of seniority. So there's Chuck Berry, and then there's me, and I don't know who comes next, but it certainly is an inevitability. Thank you so much, friends. Ever since, I think the only exclamation in our literature that rivals Walt Whitman's declaration of his barbaric yop is Chuck Berry's Roll Over Beethoven. Those two expressions of American ingenuity are really what has defined our activity, and from Chuck Berry all the way down to us is a straight line from that Roll Over Beethoven, because if Beethoven hadn't rolled over, there would have been no room for any of us. So friends, in a certain sense, I'm deeply, well, in every sense, I'm deeply grateful for this recognition. But I also want to say that in another sense, all of us are just footnotes to the work of Chuck Berry. And like a footnote, I want to keep it brief and light. So thanks a lot, friends.
Just to explain, the members of the jury who are not here all had, Smokey Robinson has a gig, sent his greetings and his respect to the recipients. Bono, we got an email from this morning. He's in South America writing songs and probably curing a few lepers. And Paul Muldoon, like Keats before him, is on a boat. He's sailing around the world for a year. Roseanne Cash, though, had the biggest conflict. Today would have been Johnny Cash's 80th birthday, and she's in Arkansas at the dedication of Johnny Cash's birthplace as a historic site. So, and Roseanne asked me to read this message to Leonard. There's a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in. Just this one line by Leonard Cohen is enough to get him into any hall of fame. It is the light and breadth and depth to which I aspire as a songwriter. Roseanne Cash. And then yesterday, this will make you jump up when you see this in your email. Here's a message to Chuck Berry from Bob Dylan. To Chuck, the Shakespeare of rock and roll. Congratulations on your Penn Award. That's what too much monkey business will get you. Say hello to Mr. Leonard, Kafka of the blues, and Lord Byron Keith if he shows up. In all seriousness, though, Chuck, congratulations on this prestigious honor. You indeed have written the book with a capital B, and congratulations to Leonard, who is still writing it, Bob Dylan. So we kind of got a Mount Rushmore thing going here today.